Complete with a hunky lumberjack.
Lean back against my broad chest.
I'm here to buy the inn.
Over my dead reindeer.
I just finished watching a Clusterfunke Christmas.
Here's a quick synopsis. A go-getter real estate exec from New York City heads to a small town to buy the quaint Clusterfunke Inn and transform it into a mega resort. After talking to the owner, she meets their nephew and sparks begin to fly.
And you know what? Let's dive into the holiday drum roll. Y'all, I'm giving this movie a gift or a 2 because this was honestly one of the dumbest Christmas movies I've ever watched. It is on the border between a lump of coal and a gift. I couldn't give it a lump of coal because there were actually some parts I did find funny, but this movie was so dumb. Like, honestly, when I was watching it, sometimes I would just crack myself up because I would just be saying, this is the dumbest movie ever. I would just start laughing because it's so dumb. Basically, this movie is a parody movie on Christmas movies, specifically Hallmark. Like how this movie started off, it basically, I think it was called something Bismarck is what they called the channel. They're like, you're about to watch a Bismarck movie where we have 6 months of Christmas. Like they're basically playing on Hallmark, and every possible Christmas movie stereotype was in this. Every cliche, just the wording. Like this movie was so dumb. I honestly, like, while watching this movie, there were some moments where I was just like, I feel like I'm losing brain cells watching this movie. But then again, there were some parts that were funny. Like, there's this whole scene where she has like a off-brand Alexa, and she basically like, hey, Alexa, play All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. And then the Alexa is like, we don't have the rights to play that, so we'll play this other song instead called All I Want for Christmas Is Fruit. And then basically it's a whole song, like All I Want for Christmas Is You, but it's about fruit. And to me, that was honestly hilarious. And I feel like this movie had a whole bunch of like SNL people, so that should have... Yeah, honestly, this movie was just so terrible. Like, they tried to fit in so many different Christmas movie things in this that it lost the plot along the way. And it was just the most random stuff would be happening, and you're like, what in the world? There were like all these side stories, and this... It was just... yeah. And also, they played a lot with the product placement because Philadelphia cheese was like one of the sponsors, and then like Maxwell coffee. So they just kept on showing that. Like, there were just scenes where it would have nothing but the product, and then like the product next to it for product placement. And I was like, oh my. And then they, you know how especially when you watch like Hallmark Christmas movies, they have like a bunch of like montages that happen to like kind of like show them like getting to know each other. There were so many in this movie. Like, I feel like there were at least 15. And they're like, now on to another quick montage. And then it would just... This movie was all over the place, honestly. And I'm giving it a 2 or a gift. Like, honestly, it's really on the border between coal and a gift, but I did find it funny. And it's definitely a watch, but it is not a movie I would probably ever watch again. Like, it's a one and a done to say I have seen it, but yeah, I have no desire to ever watch it again. Let me know in the comments if you've seen this movie, what you think.
This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.